Hello, it's Kerbanaut here, and today not only will we be adding a new module to the Olympus Space Station, but we'll be also having a look at the new Kerbal Space Program. That's 0.2 as opposed to the old 0.19, I believe it was. Yeah, so let's just take a look at what we've got here. So the beginning is very much the same as the old one. There was a new loading screen, you might have seen that. So I'm just going to go to Start Game, and we're going to say Resume Save. The Olympus Space Station. I would say I've moved over the save file, but in all honesty I haven't. I just launched up a new core, and it just happened to be the same two blokes in it. So that was handy. So let us continue. Now you saw just there was a loading thing down here, that's new. Personally I don't like the wee kind of thing, I think it's a bit tacky, but that's my opinion, and it's good to have something new there anyway. Now, one thing you might notice is right here we have a flag. Flags are something that has been added in 0.2. You can customize your own flags, or you can choose from a large variety of flags that Kerbal Space Program has embedded in it. But right now we're not going to have a look at flags, although I will definitely be doing stuff with flags later on. We are in fact going to be launching this new module. So you can have a look around on the VAB, and you'll see we have also got seats and some new pods and stuff. But what I find really interesting is that you no longer have to have a command pod as your core piece. You no longer have to have this really in there. So for example, if I take this, let's see, I don't think this has, oh there we go. So now that pod is attached to this nose cone, but if I move the pod, the nose cone doesn't move with it, because the nose cone is in fact now the new core piece, because I selected that first. And if I move that nose cone, if I can even select it, yes, everything else will move. And I think that's really epic. I find that a very good way to free up your building anyway, your design, your building, and just generally I think that is a good idea. Others may disagree, but personally I like that. I like the fact that they're giving you a lot more creative freedom in what you want to do. But we're not going to be looking at that, although it is quite exciting stuff. We are in fact going to be loading up this, the Vala Space Telescope Mark 1, or just the Vala Space Telescope really. I've stuck a big launcher on the bottom of it, and here it is. This is the Vala Space Telescope right here. Now, the Vala Space Telescope was in fact submitted by Knight123 over the forums, and yeah, I really liked it. He submitted another ship along with it, but that was much larger and very elaborate and contained many mods. And really, this one was just so simplistic yet very nice. Now, I'm going to tell you what mods are actually in this telescope. First of all, to make the telescope itself, we have the Zeus Space Telescope mod. I'll put a link in the description to that mod. And then we have another mod which is used on this to have these lights. These lights here, and that one there, and I believe we have another one up here. These are given to us by the... Now, I may be wrong in the name of this, but this is what it says on my kind of parts folder and stuff. It's the SPACETECH Escape Pod mod, and if I've got that name wrong, then an annotation will be popping up and correcting me. If not, then well, either way, there's going to be a link to it in the description as well. So those are the two mods used in this. I chose this submission because not only did it have very few mods and yet still look very nice, it was also creative in its use of the mod. And, well, it's just small, and it has 2 docking ports, and that's brilliant, so that we can dock more stuff on. And, yeah, it's just a very nice submission. It was sent via the forums. I'll put a link to the forums as well in the description. I've got a lot of links in this description now, eh? I have to mention one thing. I did, in fact, make a few modifications to this. The first thing I did was, it did contain another mod at the beginning. It was a self-destruct mod. I believe it was meant so that you could delete the ship after you had finished using it, but I figured you don't really need that. It's just an extra mod that's not really being used for a specific purpose other than to delete the ship, which can be easily done by deorbiting it. So what I did was I took that off and just replaced it with a thermometer, and that is working fine for me. Another thing I did was I added on some was it thermal generators, nuclear thermal generators, radioscope thermoelectric generators, that's it. And I added them on because what I had tested out was it's running on this probe body thing here, and I launched it, and I found after a wee bit of testing that the electric charge would decrease slowly, and I would lose control. And then one last thing I did was I added some linear RCS ports, because although you did put in an RCS tank, I decided to put in these RCS ports because, you know, we do need to dock it, and usually it's good to have RCS ports when you have RCS fuel. So I just stuck that in there. But apart from those few minor adjustments, it's exactly the same, and I really like it. It's a brilliant wee ship, and we're gonna launch it now. We're gonna launch it up to the space station. So I'll just let you have a look here. I've got asparagus staging, got a ton of space tape, a ton of struts, and we're using these new engines that come along in 0.2. I was about to say 2.2. Wow, it's really got advanced over quickly, you know. No, but I've used the new engines here. Now these new engines have, I believe, about half the thrust of this large one. They're called Skipper liquid engines. They're still the Rockomax ones, but as you can see, these ones have a max power of 650 as opposed to the 1500 the large one has, although they do have a slightly higher ISP, both at sea level and in a vacuum. So you can say sea level is 300 and ISP in a vacuum is 350 as opposed to 280 and 330. So it has a slightly higher ISP. But the only reason I'm really using them is because it's 0.2, and I wanted to kind of almost showcase them. Right, okay, so that is this ship. We're now going to launch this up to the Olympus Space Station and dock this baby on. So let's just save it and launch. We're going to, yeah, I was just testing around with this. Another load screen. Let's go to ascent guidance. We're going to go up to 100 kilometers. We're going to go to the map, and I can show you something about 2.0 here. To select a thing, you now just left click on it, and you can either set it as a target or switch to it. That saves you all this hassle of double clicking on something, or like trying to right click it, or it saves all that hassle, I think. And it just gives you two options, and I really like that. I've been waiting for this kind of simplistic switch to thing for ages. I've always had trouble with this switching to, and I'm so happy that they finally implemented that in the game. So I'm going to launch to rendezvous here, and that is just going to launch me up into the plane of the target and to rendezvous with the target, which of course is the Olympus Space Station core. Right, okay, so let's have a talk about Kerbal Space Program 0.2. There's a few awesome things they have added, one of which, of course, is the selecting the target and switching to feature, which has been added, and I really love that. Another feature which has been added is over on the right hand side here, and there goes our launching right there. Over on the right hand side here you can see that we've got some new tabs. Now these tabs indicate what your crew, who your crew is, and when you have someone in, and I will show you this in a second when we end up docking with the space station, the crew shows you their stupidity and their courage, and tells you who your crew is, and you know who's on your ship and such. And then yeah, you can have a look at your crew. Now over on this other tab we have an I, which obviously stands for information, and you can see over on here on the information tab you are given some information about your vessel and about your obviously orbital characteristics. So I'm being told here that this is a probe, which I obviously know. It's giving me a part count and my total mass, along with what sphere of influence I'm in and what my situation is, and of course how long I've been flying. In orbital characteristics, it's giving me my velocity and my altitude. Now I can minimize these by clicking on this top thing here, and that just it's very nice. It kind of, so I can like close that, and I can only look at my orbital characteristics if I wanted. And that's that. Now, what gets really interesting is when you swap to a planet. So if I focus on Kerbin now, you'll see that this over here has changed from being a Kerbal to a planet. And I click on this tab, it now gives me the parameters of Kerbin. And this will be the same for every planet. I can look at this and it'll give me its radius, its area, mass, and so on and so forth. It'll give me all of this, and I think that is just very, very lovely. It'll even give me its atmospheric height, which is brilliant for people like me who can sometimes forget the height of the atmosphere. And I mean, not in Kerbin obviously, but on other planets such as Lathe and Juna and stuff like that. So yeah, there you go. It gives a lot of lovely little parameters there. You get your equatorial radius and stuff like that. You then go to information, and it gives you almost a bio on the planet. This one's telling me that it's a unique world. Kerbin has flat plains, soaring mountains, and wide blue oceans, and so on and so forth down here. And it gives us a wee thing down here saying it is said that he who can get his ship into orbit is halfway to anywhere. And that's actually quite true. The delta V required to get into orbit is about the same as it would to get from orbit to something like Jupiter. It is an insane amount of delta V to get off of Earth. And just to show you that you can use this on other planets and, for example, moons, I'm going to switch to the moon, focus, and you'll see this has changed to the moon. And it says the moon is a large satellite orbiting Kerbin. It is mostly grey in appearance, with craters of various sizes dotting its otherwise smooth surface. And that is very, very interesting. And you can read through that, and you can click on here, and again it gives you its physical characteristics and its atmospheric characteristics, which of course is non-existent because it doesn't have an atmosphere. And yeah, this can be done for any planet. For example, I can hop over to, say, let's go to Eve, and we can go into Eve, and you'll see this is just swapped over, and it'll give me its physical characteristics and its atmospheric characteristics, and I can swap here, and it gives me a bio, and this is the same for every planet and moon. It gives you a bio and its characteristics, and that is very handy. So we're going to go back here, focused on our Vala Space Telescope, which is about halfway into orbit now, which is very nice. Now that we've gone over this lovely wee tab over on the right hand side, I'd like to introduce you to something up here that I only found out about like a few minutes ago. I was kind of dawdling over here, and I kind of accidentally came up here, and this is up here, and you could swap to see what things you have, what ships you have. For example, I've got a ton of debris somehow lying around. I've got 8 debris, and that's just the things down there on the launch pad. I can then switch to probes. That'll show me the probes. I can then switch to rovers, but I have none landers, none ships, and that'll show me the space station core. And of course I can toggle through all of these, and if you have them, you will see them. And of course flags, because flags are actually treated like ships. Let me just go to probes, focus back on the Vala. And flags are treated like ships, and so if you have a flag, and I plant a flag down at the Kerbal Space Center, it will come up on my map as a little flag, and I can switch to it like you would a ship, and I will be able to see it. And I'll show you in just a second, after we've docked, after we've done this docking and got this on there, what flags are like to plant and things like that. But for now, we're just going to go back to our Vala Space Telescope to have a look at what we've got here. And you can see I've been an idiot and just kind of not detached these. I've obviously not stuck on auto stage, so it is a miracle and a half that I managed to get this far. Right, okay guys, so we're just about to dock on this. Where I found us a big problem in my design. Oh well, not in my design. Well, in my additional designs here, I forgot to add on RCS ports to the end. So I cannot kind of translate in certain directions, so I have to like turn the craft, which is pretty naff. It's not really ideal anyway. So yeah, as you can see, right. So you can see here I'm kind of a wee bit off. So. Right, and now we're just gonna burn down, burn down, burn down, burn down, burn down, come on. Yes, yes, there we go, yes! We did it! Yes! Okay, okay folks. We've docked it. We've docked on the space telescope. Time warp. Right, okay, so let's activate this camera. And you can see what it looks like. Right, 6. Here we go. Right, okay, so the moon is there, so if we just tilt up a wee bit, we can zoom in on the moon and we can see what it does. So if we go, yeah, so we can zoom in there, we can turn SAS off, and we can just we can go a bit further in. Oh, my controlling skills are... Alright, let's turn caps lock on. Right, let's do time warp. Time warp usually solves stuff. And you can see you get some cool detail on this thing. It's like zooming in, it just zooms in on the texture, so that is really, really handy. Right, and that just lets you look at things, so you can look at things really, really far away. You can see I'm zooming in with the scroll button here, and zoom in, and then that's the furthest I can zoom in there. And you can actually see the movement of the moon. That is not the ship, because you can see on the nav ball I'm not moving. That is actually the movement of the moon, which is pretty awesome if I do say so myself. So we're going to deactivate the camera with the button 7, and that brings us back out. And there you go, that's our very first module. I might have to straighten that up because, well, OCD and all. I'm not actually OCD, but you know, we get to use that excuse in Kerbal Space Program, and in just about every other game, you know. But hey, it's a game, so it doesn't matter. But let's yeah, let's do something now. So, well, we've attached this on, so let's have a look at some actual 0.2 stuff that's going on. Hi guys, it's Post Commentary Me here, as you might have guessed from the speeded up footage. So, yes, we decided to go for a rover, and I decided to go for a rover because, well, we've got new wheels and we got a new seat, so we're gonna, well, go for a rover. Now, this design that you're seeing me build right here didn't really work. I had a few problems with power consumption and stuff. I ended up figuring out that I had to use batteries, and so I got it to work eventually, but this is basically the same thing. So I stick on these wheels and then get the seat down and put down some RTGs, and that's the basis of the rover. Now, we're going to use this rover to drive over to that monolith, just off to the, what is it, east of the Space Center. Well, we're going to drive over there, and of course, on our way over there, we're going to pass the runway. So what I decide to do right here is I decide to go straight for it. Full speed on, 20 meters a second, right over that runway, and boy, oh boy, does that look awesome. Jebediah Kerman would be proud, I'm telling you. Anyway, yes, we head over here, and we proceed to kind of mess around and drive very quickly over to the monolith that grows in an ever increasing fashion in the distance, and then of course we get there and we stop. Let us plant a flag. So to plant a flag, you right click on your Kerman. In this case I've got Mr. Bob Kerman here, and you press the plant flag, and he does this sweet animation thing where he takes out the flag and sticks it in, and then your flag appears, and whatever flag you've chosen as your flag, it comes up, and that is the flag. So you can see here it pops up with name site, and asks you to name the site, and then it gives you a little plaque text. So we're going to call this the monolith. 1, and I'm going to put the plaque text as I fell out my seat. I fell out my seat. And there we go. So, I mean, obviously, it doesn't look as if anything's changed on this, and really it hasn't changed physically. But if you then right-click on this, you can tell them to take it down, or you can say read plaque. And the plaque is just whatever you've typed in there, and then you could read it, and it gives you this nice wee fancy thing, and it says, I fell out my seat. And that'll say whatever you want it to say. And I can imagine some people will be writing some rather dirty things on there. And you can say take down, and that just instantly takes it down. But and then I guess you can't really put another flag up, because, well, you've used your flag, and you've basically just taken down that flag. And everyone knows that once you take down a flag, it can never be replanted. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. We're going about 22 meters a second, and we're about to hit this runway. Let's see what bad stuff we can do to this thing. Woohoo! Yay! Oh yeah, look at that. Look at us go. And Bill Kerman has indeed done something to his arm. His arm is in fact inside his leg. And his legs are kind of... I think he may have broken his neck. I think he's dead. I do think he's dead. Let's see if we poke him. Hey, you okay? Oh, there he goes. He's alive. Would you look at that? He's alive. Okay. Bob has managed to survive this terrible accident. Yeah. What happens if we run into the wheel? Woohoo! Run into the wheel. Nothing. We just kind of... Oh, can we like maybe tip it over? If we can get under it. Can we tip it over? Can we just kind of like jump? Oh, we're moving the batteries. Oh wait, no, we are in fact now inside the machine. Yeah, okay, he must have a headache now. Well, seeing as Bob has a headache and I have nothing else to talk about, that is me for now. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please submit any modules that you may have for the Olympus Space Station. Remember the rules. You can go check out the rules on the forum. There's a link in the description. All the mods used in this, there is another link in the description for those. I will again, I guess I'll put in a link to KSP 0.2 for the download. It is of course a paid game, so if you don't have it, you will have to buy it first before you can download it, but I'll just link you to KSP and you'll be able to do all that stuff there. Yes, so I will be bringing out new videos, so check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.